morning. Good morning. Good morning. How is everyone this beautiful, beautiful day? Glorious, glorious, glorious. Welcome to Unity of Tucson. I am Dr. Jonathan Zenz. I'm the senior minister here, the spiritual leader, and it's such a delight to have you share this morning. We're going to celebrate today. Does that sound like a good plan? Yeah, we're going to celebrate this morning, and we've got such a great musical talent. You know, some of you will know her. Many of you will know her. So delighted to have her here, and she's going to lead us off in song today. Please welcome Elise Carver.
Things stand in my way. Love's in my soul. There's nothing that can ruin my day. I come alive, feel the spirit surging through me. I'm satisfied, everything is as it should be.
Elise Carver! It's a funny thing, it's such a habit that I walk up here with a vocal mic to sing into, and I'm not singing most of the music today, so I'm going to set that there for now. Once again, good morning. Wasn't that a spectacular way to start? And I don't know if you know how Elise is related to this beautiful community. Elise is Linda's daughter. Yes. And Adam's sister. It's the Ackerman family players today. Yeah. Yeah. Oh my goodness. So once again, welcome, welcome, welcome. We are a spiritual community here at Unity of Tucson. We're here to celebrate love, light, life, joy, peace, beauty, power, understanding, inspiration, imagination. We're here to celebrate all the qualities of God, which are all the qualities that each and every one of us are. And so today is really a celebration about us. It's also because you may see a number of people walking around wearing our unapologetically inclusive shirts, because this weekend is Pride Weekend in Tucson, and we represented yesterday at the Pride Festival. Yes, we did. We had such a good time, and so today is all about celebrating that. You're going to hear a little bit about my story today. I know you've never heard it before. So it'll all be brand new for you. Before we get any further, though, I do want to acknowledge that it is the first Sunday of the month, and on the first Sunday of the month, we do celebrate birthdays, and there's a special thing that we do a little bit later in the service, but it requires a little bit of partition in advance. As you are coming in today, you may have been asked if you were celebrating a birthday during the month of October, and if you were, then Roberta would have dutifully handed you a ballot to be filled out, and on that ballot are some charities that we support here at Unity of Tucson, and we'll explain how that all gets handled. So is there anyone who still needs to fill out a ballot who is celebrating a birthday during the month of October? Roberta, keep your hands high. As Roberta comes around, she will make sure that you get a ballot, and she will make sure that she collects them from you as well. There's lots of birthdays. I love it. Let me see, this is the 10th month. So what was happening in January? It was cold. Okay, that was a little blue maybe for a Sunday morning. We, of course, also acknowledge this here at Unity of Tucson. This is what I like to say every week as a reminder that you may not believe everything you hear today. And that is absolutely okay, because I am not here to tell you what to believe. The power, I think, in the New Thought philosophy is that it invites us to take a look at our belief system and to make determinations about what is and is not working for us in our own belief system. So if something does butt up against your belief system here today, just say, oh gosh, that's butting up against my belief system, and maybe there's something to look at there. And if we are willing to look at our beliefs, then we are actually setting the stage for changing our lives to a higher quality of life. That's one of the tenets that we teach here. That as we address our thoughts, our beliefs, and our feelings around them, we are addressing the quality of our lives. So strap in for an amazing journey today. We do also have a vision and a mission here at Unity of Tucson, and I would love for us as a community to say out loud these words first of our vision statement. Here they are. We envision a world awakened to its magnificence. And the vision is how we see the world, how we choose to see the world. The mission are the steps we can take to see that vision come into fruition, into actuality, into demonstration. If you were in class on Tuesday, we heard a lot about the word demonstration. If you weren't in class, don't stress too much about it. It's just one of those jargon words we say. But it's about what are we creating in our lives. So the mission is how we get there. Let's state these words of our mission statement. Love only, forgive everything, remember who you are. Love only, forgive everything, and remember who you are. If you're joining us for the first time today, I want to acknowledge and say hello, grateful that you're here. Let me first say hello to everyone who may be watching online, whether you're watching now, live, Sunday morning on the live stream, or you watch at another time during the week, or maybe even 2 years from now. It is a delight to know that your energy is part of this magnificent energy that we are all collectively creating, not just in this room, but all over the world. And we do have people who watch from all over the world. We have a member who is in Nigeria. We have people who watch from Sweden. We have people who watch from Canada. We have people who watch from Jamaica. We have people all over the world who watch us. And so we are a community that is actually reaching out in a magnificent way. Grateful that you're here. If you go to unitytucson.com/connect, you can fill out some information there. We can keep this conversation going. If you're here in the room for the first time, if you are comfortable with identifying yourself, we would love to pour some love on you and also acknowledge that you would have been asked if you were here. You can receive a gift. There's a gift for you in the lobby at the completion of service, but there's something more than just that physical gift that we want to share. So if you're comfortable with identifying yourself by either standing up or raising your hand, who's here for the first time? Welcome. Grateful to have you here. Grateful, grateful, grateful. And if you remain standing for just a moment, just remain standing for a moment, we have something to share. Are we ready? This is what we know about you. 1, 2, 3. You are magnificent. Yes, thank you for shining your light and sharing your magnificence with us. And we know that about you because, well, you are a reflection of each and every one of us. We all reflect each other. And so I think it's important that we acknowledge and claim our own magnificence. So let us as a community say these words together. I am magnificent. How does that feel? And the rest of you? You know, as a person in the alphabet mafia, as I like to call it, the LGBTQIA community, the LGBTQIA community, we have a flair for the dramatic. And here's what I know about you. You are magnificent. It's going to be one of those days. We also honor all traditions here, all faith traditions, all paths, and religious ideas, with the understanding, as we understand it, that every single one of them points towards the one love, the one power, the one presence, that they all point towards the infinite creative power that is who and what we are. And we use the word God to describe it sometimes. I like to use the word love. And so here to guide us in our ceremony, lighting the flames of faith, please welcome our keepers of the flames, Dorothy Brolin and Laura Cass.
Well, I must say, when I was in Finland recently, I attended a church service at a Lutheran church. It's a Lutheran country. And that's a very different opening than we had. Not nearly as somber. Okay. Good morning, beautiful people. So, we're going to light the flames this morning, Dorothy. We light a candle for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light a candle for the shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous people, the way of primal spirituality. We light a candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light a candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light a candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We light a candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light a candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to divine love as the highest calling. We light a candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. We light a candle for all forms of New Thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. We light a candle for all those who are as yet unaware of the power and presence of Spirit in their lives, and for the space that we are holding for them, and for all faith traditions unnamed in this ceremony. The final candle is the healing candle. It represents the revealing of the divinity at the core of all experiences. This is your candle for whatever is in your mind and heart that requires the light.
Thank you, Laura. Thank you, Dorothy. This is our peace candle, which we do keep consistently illuminated as a reflection of a consistent illumination of peace in our own hearts. And as we allow our own inner peace to inform our thoughts, our intentions, our ideas, right where we are, each and every one of us is creating a more peaceful experience, globally and universally. Universal peace, global peace begins right where we are. So let's honor that understanding by stating out loud together this prayer for world peace. Divine love indwells each person and radiates from one to another. Harmony is established and peace reigns in the world. Indeed it does.
It's me again.
It's you again. Yes. Here to guide us with a reading, also in our new monthly affirmation, and also to lead us in prayer. Please welcome one of our magnificent prayer chaplains, Laura Cass.
Thank you, my dear. So this being the first Sunday in October, we have a new affirmation for the month. And as always, when we have an affirmation, especially a new one, I like to really kind of dissect it, figure out what it's all about. Maybe I can figure out what was in your mind when you wrote it about 10 months ago, but I don't know. The affirmation for October is, I am an evolutionary transformer, living a deep and rich personal life experience. So I had to tease Jonathan right away when it said, I am an evolutionary transformer. I thought maybe that was an invention of Thomas Edison, but he told me it wasn't. So, okay, we're on. So let's take a look at the word evolutionary, what that actually means. A gradual development of something over time, something that morphs into another being or other thoughts over time. It's not revolutionary where you wake up with one morning and it happens with a big bang. It does take time. So I started looking at my own evolution in unity. From the first time I attended a service, probably now 10 or 11 years ago, and how I have changed and evolved myself over that period of time. From the time I went to the very first Sunday service at a unity. So what happens during that time? How I have expanded my awareness of the divine, how I have added to my own spiritual thoughts, being, and how I have stripped away over time those layers that do not serve me, and instead added the layers that do serve me. I have discovered that to create this evolution, you need to establish habits. You know, going to your spiritual center every week is a habit. You know, it's like getting up in the morning and taking a shower, getting dressed, whatever your sequence of events is. But it is definitely a habit. You don't just go on Christmas, you don't just go on Easter, you go all year. It's like, say you go to the dentist twice a year and you don't brush. The morning you're going to the dentist, you get up and you go in the bathroom and you brush like heck. For 3 hours you brush. Well, no, that's like coming here on Christmas and Easter. You need to do it all the time. That creates your evolution, your awareness, your being. So coming to church is this wonderful habit, and I think we've all pretty much developed it. And as you progress through this personal evolution, how do you know when you are experiencing that deep and rich personal life that is, if you will, the goal or the aim of the evolutionary transformation? I'm going to read, and this is a bit of a paraphrase from Michael Singer from The Untethered Soul. What it means to live life is to experience each moment as it passes through us, being fully aware as we see ourselves being aware, an awakened being that lives in the now. We are present. Life is present. And each experience of life is such that it reaches the depths of our being. Every moment is an experience of being fully open, allowing life to flow within and through us. Being aware that we are aware.
You're going to guide them in the affirmation?
I got so caught up in that I forgot. All right, so I'm going to read this affirmation, and then we'll repeat it together twice. I am an evolutionary transformer, living a deep and rich personal life experience. Together. I am an evolutionary transformer, living a deep and rich personal life experience. Again. I am an evolutionary transformer, living a deep and rich personal life experience. Let's take this opportunity to relax right where we are, to center ourselves in this pure, perfect moment, releasing any idea that we may be holding on to from the past that doesn't serve us, releasing any consideration of the future that doesn't serve us, allowing ourselves to be in this here and now, present moment.
I am safe, I am calm, I am loved. I am safe, I am calm, I am loved. Sing along with me. I am safe, I am calm, I am loved. I am safe, I am calm, I am loved. Although I cannot see ahead, I know it is paved with clarity. Although I cannot see the road ahead, I know it is paved with truth. Although I cannot see the road ahead, I know it is paved with goodness. Although I cannot see the road ahead, I know it is paved with love.
And the road ahead is indeed paved with love, paved with light. It is our journey, and it is glorious. We know that we are inherently divine. We are the seeker who seeks the truth of our being. We are aware that we are aware of our divine life, our divinity. We are deep, deep within ourselves, understanding that we are on an evolutionary journey that does lead us to a deep, rich, personal life experience of that which we choose for ourselves through our actions, through our joy, through our prayerfulness, through our love for one another and oneself. So it is.
Let's sing. I am safe, I am calm, I am loved. I am safe, I am calm, I am loved. I am safe, I am calm, I am loved. I am safe, I am calm, I am loved. Divine love leads me and guides me, and I know all is well. Oh, divine love leads me and guides me, and I know all is well.
So beautiful. So beautiful. Thank you also, Laura. That was really, really lovely, beautiful, and moving. Well, I mean, clearly our musical guest needs no introduction today, but if you thought she only played violin, if you thought she only played guitar, if you thought she was only a singer, well, you're about to find out she also plays piano. So here, if you would please welcome Elise Carver.
I am one with God, as God is in you, God is in me. Not a sacrifice, but a surrender to love, abiding in love. And now the calling is divine, to reveal and not deny that we're standing in presence. Remember who you are, made with the light of all the stars, and shine with the essence of God. You and I were born deserving in all. God is in us. Not a God without, but a spirit within, always within. So we will live in harmony, honoring our divinity, and be love, receive love. We are the hands of the divine. We have the power to align our hearts with the essence of God. You and I were born deserving, worthy of a giant ending. Unlock your soul and set it free by remembering who you are. Eat the light that dwells within you. Every day's a chance to renew. A new beginning starts this moment by remembering who you are.
Today, I want to start with a question that I know I've asked before, and I invite you to reflect on what comes up for you as an answer to this question. And as you find an answer that presents itself, see if there's something behind the answer that either supports it or denies it. The question is this: who do you know yourself to be? Who do you know yourself to be? It's a light question. It's a thinker. Part of the reason that I ask that question is because I think about our mission statement here that is so beautifully also articulated in that song. The third aspect of our mission statement is remember who you are. Remember who you are. Well, in order to remember who you are, you probably need to know who you are. So who do you know yourself to be? I know myself to be an accumulation of all the things that I have experienced in my life, and so much more, because I am not limited to only the things that I've experienced in my life. I express ministry, I express this philosophy from a particular point of view that is rooted in my own point of view, and that can be challenging sometimes. For me, it can be challenging for other people. And then I think about the manner in which I considered myself, who I knew myself to be for such a long time prior to the experience of my life when I came out of the closet. And yesterday, as we celebrated Pride, it was actually very prevalent in my mind, that point of my life partially because he doesn't know that I'm going to let him know that I did not let him know, because it's now just coming to me that I'm going to talk about somebody. Not a gossip way, but my first serious boyfriend in my life was at the Pride Festival yesterday. We're talking from 30 years ago. Now, it sounds, wow, he and I have remained friends all of this time too, so it's not like I was surprised that he was there. I mean, I knew he was going to be there, but that period of my life has actually come up quite a bit in considering who I am and how I choose to be and how I choose to express. And I think about the period prior to June 23rd, 1991, which is the day that's the date that I always look to as my official coming out. And prior to that date, I was not authentically myself, and yet I was authentically myself. A couple of years ago, there was a tweet by a queer writer named Alexander Leon. And it reads like this. Can you bring up the slide? Queer people don't grow up as ourselves. We grow up playing a version of ourselves that sacrifices authenticity to minimize humiliation and prejudice. The massive task of our adult lives is to unpick which parts of ourselves are truly us and which parts we've created to protect us. As I think about that, because it resonates with me very deeply, this was part of my experience. I grew up as a version of myself that sacrificed my own authenticity to minimize humiliation and prejudice. But as I think about that, I think in some way, it's a universal experience. It's not just limited to that community. It's a universal experience. In what way were we encouraged in our upbringing to play a version of ourselves so that we could hide the authentic self because we lived in fear of the judgment that might be placed upon us by other people? I think that's something that we can all resonate with. People in this particular community to which I belong, we don't hold the corner on that market by any stretch. And so I think it also becomes a question, what aspect of you have you hidden away? What version of yourself might you still be playing? Because I still play versions of myself. This is not limited to just my upbringing and only prior to the time that I came out. This still has resonance and experience in my life because I am in a constant state of always having to make the decision, do I let people in on my authentic self or not? We all do that. We all do that. Do I let people see the authentic me or not? Is this a safe space to be authentically me or not? So, we go to the Pride Festival. We represent at the Pride Festival. Unity has a booth at the Pride Festival. And we have a good old party, right? And remembering that party was born out of rebellion. It was born out of rebellion. I never want that to be lost. And some people may be going, well, why is Pride now? It's October. I thought Pride was in June. And the answer is yes, it's in June, but it's too darn hot for Tucson to celebrate Pride in June, so they moved it to October. Now, that particular date, June 23rd, 1991, Pride was still being celebrated here in Tucson in the summer. And I remember going out to Hippie Hill in Himmel Park and thinking, wow, I've arrived. Pride began as rebellion, though. It began with a riot in 1969, in June of 1969, when the Stonewall Inn, which was a tavern in Greenwich Village, New York, was raided by the police, essentially for the upteenth time, and they were done. They were done. You ever get so fed up, you're like, I am done. And so the story goes that a transgender woman, Marsha P. Johnson, picked up a brick and threw it at the cops. It's all, who knows who actually threw the first brick? Nobody really knows, but that's the story, so we're going to hold on to it. It was born out of rebellion when people could say, finally, I am not going to play a version of myself any longer that minimalizes humiliation and prejudice in my life. I'm not going to do it anymore. And so that is how the gay rights movement, that's what is looked at as the turning point to develop the gay rights movement in this country. In 1991, when I came out and went to Pride at Himmel Park on Hippie Hill, and it was like, wow, there are like a couple hundred people here. That's super exciting. I didn't know that there were this many gay people in the world. I was an avid journaler at the time, and this is what I wrote in my journal in relationship to that day. I felt for what could be the first time in my life so accepted by all these people around whom I could be myself. The feeling I have is truly indescribable. It must be what freedom feels like. I was 18 years old. I was 18 years old. And for the first time in my life, I felt like I could breathe. I felt like I could relax. It was a couple weeks later, I finally came out to my dad. That's a whole other story I'm not going to tell you today. I felt like I could breathe upon that experience in my life. And it's similar to my finding the New Thought philosophy. That when I found New Thought, I found my tribe, I found my community, and I felt once again like I could breathe. Because prior to New Thought, I kept building up some of those resistances, if that's a word. I kept building up resistance in my experience, in my life, and what I believed about life prior to my introduction and decision, and it is a decision, the decision to adopt a New Thought philosophy as my experience. My previous thought was, life is something to get through so I can get to the good stuff. I think many of us live or have lived at some point with that idea. Life is something to get through so I can get to the good stuff, i.e. heaven. Because that's the ultimate. I'm going to get to heaven. And this is the New Thought. That's why we're New Thought. New Thought offers this. My life is what I make of it when I know who I am. And the making of it for me equals absolute freedom. That heaven is a state of mind. I'm not going to get to heaven. I decide to live heaven right here and right now. That's the good stuff. I don't have to wait for it. Are any of us, and this is a rhetorical question, are any of us still waiting for the good stuff? Like, oh, life is so hard. When is it going to get easier? When it gets easier, you're not going to like this answer. Do you know when it gets easier? When you make a decision that life must be easier. And you live the construct of that frame of mind so thoroughly that anything contrary to it no longer fits in your experience. And so it begins to drift away. It begins to melt away. And as I always say, it's work. I know it's work, but it can be joyful work, because that's how I'm going to phrase it now. It can be joyful work. It doesn't have to be hardship. And the work continues to be work until it's not. I'm not going to you today, William, sorry. The work continues to be work until it's not, because then we have habitualized a new way of being, a new frame of mind, and life is always the good stuff. And then you find some of the stuff that counteracts that, and you say, oh, well, now there's this other part of my life that I get to work on, and I work on that until I habitualize a new frame of being there, and like, oh, well, then look over here. There's this other part of my life that maybe isn't working so well, and so I'm now going to work on that, and it continues to be work. But I can decide for the work to be joyful. I can decide to live absolute freedom right here and right now. Yes. Right in this moment. Would you bring up the next slide? Free yourself forever from the thought that God may be pleased by a life of sacrifice, that the world is any better because of your misery, or that righteousness is more perfectly expressed through poverty than abundance. Free yourself forever from that construct in mind. You are the presence of divine power, love, God. I don't care what you call it. I don't care what you call it. That is who you are. That is your divine presence. So to what degree are you living it with abandon? That's my question. To what degree are you living it with abandon? The sound guys hate when I do that because then it blows against the microphone. It's not a very pleasant sound. I invite us all to come out. To come out as the authentic spiritual beings that we are, live life with abandon and not care what anybody else thinks. Because you know what? What other people think is none of your business, and it says more about who they are than about who you are. But here's the thing, and so it is, my tattoo, and so it is. Here's the thing. Coming out is actually an inaccurate statement. Did you know that? Coming out is an inaccurate statement. Because what happens when we say someone has come out to you is they haven't come out to you at all. They are letting you in. Are you willing to let people into your authentic nature, to express your authentic self to such a degree that it doesn't matter what they say? You're letting them into your life. I don't have to come out to do anything or to please you or to say anything to you. I live my authentic life so magnificently, even in the hardship. I live my authentic life so magnificently that I choose who I let in and who I don't let in. So I think we need to stop saying that it's a coming out. It is a letting in. It is a letting in. In every moment, we are all, this fan, I'm telling you, in every moment, we are making decisions about the degree to which we are allowing others into our authenticity. Why should being our authentic selves be so controversial? Because we decide for them to be controversial, and we start to make up stories in our mind about how we will not be accepted. As we live those stories, we will never, ever give them up. That's a thing to know. We never actually give up those past stories. We crowd them out with respect to having importance in our lives, but we never give them up. We only rewrite them and release the grip that they hold over us from the past. It's okay. It's okay. But here's the other thing about the stories we make up. Because I think we oftentimes focus on, those stories we make up, they're such bad stories. I don't want to have those stories anymore. Well, here's the thing about the stories we make up. There are also good stories. There are also good stories. So hold on to the stories that work. Hold on to the stories that work, because they are the things that are actually allowing you to express your individualized color on the magnificent spectrum that is life, that is God, that is love. It makes up the whole of us. You are the spectrum of God. Each of us is a facet in the infinite creative source. And we can choose to live in great experiences. And we can choose to live more lively because of that choice. Did that make sense? Good, because all of a sudden I realized I was saying something and I was like ahead of myself in saying it than where my mind was. Does that ever happen to you? So sometimes things come out and it's hi. We are each and every one of us a facet of the creative source. I've talked about the stained glass window in the past. And I love stained glass. And oh my gosh, when I was in Paris, and I can't even think of the name of it anymore. Saint-Chapelle. Going into Saint-Chapelle and like being surrounded by all of that magnificent stained glass. If you've ever been there, it's an extraordinary experience. I love stained glass. Imagine that each and every one of us is one of these little panels. Imagine you are one of those little panels. If I took the panel out, it would be incomplete, and so would that panel. It requires all of us to allow that beauty. It requires all of us to allow that beauty. As we awaken to our inherent unity with universal good, here's the thing: notions of evil, sin, illness, restriction, and even mortality fade away when we understand that we are part of the infinite wholeness, that we represent the infinite wholeness. Light itself is the wholeness of the visible spectrum. The aspects of the spectrum are all contained within light. And each color of the spectrum can be considered an individualized expression. I changed the light up here today to have our rainbow flag a little bit more, because that's really what I want to get to today. Each color of the spectrum is an individualized aspect of the whole, and without all of them, pure light doesn't exist. It requires all of it. It requires all of it. In Christian scripture, we are invited in the Sermon on the Mount to shine our light. To shine our light. Jesus said this: "No one, after lighting a lamp, puts it under a bushel basket, but on the lampstand, and it gives light in all the house. In the same way, let your light shine before others, so that they may see your good works and give glory to your Father in heaven." Now, I want to clarify something here, because people may go, in unity, well, Father in heaven, God is not outside the self, and that is true. The Father in heaven is the infinite, immutable omniscience, omnipotence, omnipresence, the wholeness from which we spring forth. So when he says, give glory to your Father in heaven, he is saying, give glory to that which is inherently who you are, because as Jesus also said, the Father and I are one, and he meant that for every single one of us. We are not separate from that construct. He was not separating himself. He was saying, know who you are, remember who you are, and shine your light so that others may see your good works. Today, I call upon all of us to let go of any way in which we might sacrifice our own authenticity. I call upon all of us to shine our light brightly. Stand resolved with me today by being proud and being part of the universal spectrum. Peace and blessings. You are magnificent. Not yet. Thank you. So the homework this week, if you are new to our community, I give homework every week, and it is an opportunity to put the philosophy into practice, because without making it practical in our lives, it's just an idea. And so I encourage you to put the idea to use, into practice. So this week, shine your light. Shine your light. Illuminate the spectrum. And I would like you to do this in 3 steps. Number 1, I would like us all to commit to a deeper practice of prayer this week, perhaps than you have ever expressed before. If you think you can't pray, try. But here's the thing I'm going to really encourage in the practice of prayer, because this is fundamental to the way we teach prayer in the New Thought movement, in Unity. Pray from the sense of your own divine identity. We are not praying to God, we are praying as God. We are not praying to the Spirit, we are praying as the Spirit. We are letting our desire be known by stating it rather than asking for it. Pray from the consciousness of the divine. Let that prayer lead you into step 2, which is action. As your prayer is answered, find a way to be a deliberate source of goodness in someone else's life. Find a way to be a deliberate source of goodness in someone else's life. And I also would like us to all take to heart step 3 of the homework this week. I know it's a lot. Step 3 of the homework this week is this: challenge yourself. Try something new this week, and let it fuel your inner light that it may shine outwardly brighter than it may have ever shined before. Only you know what that will be for you, so be an explorer this week. I'm going to invite us all to relax right where we are. Just take a moment to center and focus in on this presence, the presence that you are, the presence that we are, each and every one of us, allowing whatever has motivated you inspirationally today, whatever kernel of truth you get to resonate with today, let that be present in your heart space. And take a breath. In the silence there is peace. In the silence there is unspoken joy. In the silence there's release. As my heart opens up to the voice, I awake to these precious moments when I hear all that could ever be said, and right here in this holy silence I find God, I find myself. I invite you into this prayerful moment with me, allowing ourselves to be fully centered and rooted in the knowledge of the One, the infinite power and presence, the divine source, the infinite quantum field. Love. 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 Love is what we are. There is absolutely no separation. There is only love. For there can be nothing separate from the infinite. And so I recognize and know that we are, each and every one of us, the magnificence of love embodied and expressed and demonstrating all the time in this thing called life. And we are not limited to just this plane of action. That which we are is far beyond the limitations we set up for ourselves. We are the magnificence. We are the omniscience, the omnipotence, and the omnipresence. We are that which is. I choose to remember who I am in every single moment and in every single interaction. I hold firm in my faith that this is true for each and every one of us, and I trust in the flow of the infinite in all activity, and I know that there is that which freely allows a more authentic expression to be made and expressed throughout this thing called life. I trust and know that there is a comfort level within each and every one of us that says, yes, yes, this is who I am, and this is how I choose to be. This is how I choose to express. This is how I choose to experience. And it's all good, it is all light, it is all life, it is all love. And so let us each shine our light brightly, for we are the magnificent aspect of the spectrum that makes up the wholeness. And it is with gratitude and appreciation overflowing from within that I call this so very good, and I allow the outflow to take form and take hold and be experienced and expressed. I step out of the way of the divine circuits and trust in the flow. I let it be so, and I affirm it by saying, and so it is. Amen. In the silence there is peace. In the silence there is unspoken joy. In the silence there's release. As my heart opens up to the voice, I awake to these precious moments when I hear all that could never be said. And right here in this holy silence, I find God. Oh, I find God. I find myself. Hi, Steve. I love your shirt.
And for those of you who are watching, no.
This is Steve Weaver. He is a member of our board of directors, and he is here to guide us today in our sharing. Welcome, Steve.
Thank you. Welcome, everyone. So I want to say thank you to all of you for helping create this place where we can be ourselves, where we can truly express our divine nature. I mean, it is rare to find that in the world, and it is a very, very special thing to me personally. Now, you may not know this, but there are 85 days till Christmas. There are 92 days to the end of the year. And as a business head, we always think of the fourth quarter, which is the first day, as that time where, well, we make up for all those resolutions that we blew off in February, and we sort of rescue ourselves. And also looking forward, we have memberships that we're going to renew here. All of us will do that. We're going to set our pledges for next year. But as we think about the last 3 months of the year, and where we've been, if you're like us, like Holly and I, you know, life has been really interesting economically. I mean, you know, does anybody use seasoned pepper? I've been told I use it on everything. Anybody use seasoned pepper? Several of us. Okay, so seasoned pepper has gone from $2.59 to $8, right? And so I know what you're saying. Stop the seasoned pepper. But we've had to adjust. Personally, you know, as sort of fixed income types, and choose differently. And our pledge to the church has been one of those things that Holly and I have talked about several times. What do we do? And we have chosen to go all in and hopefully a little bit more. But that's partially because of what I said at the very beginning. I mean, this is a place that helps us become what we're supposed to be and what we desire to be. So as you either use this amazing QR code, and I cannot express like Reverend Gill does, the little box, this little box, or if you use the baskets, please give from your heart. This is a special place, and you know, it prospers because of us. So thank you.
Thank you, Steve. As the baskets go around, feel free to dance and move, and we're going to sing our giving song. I celebrate my abundance today. By giving this gift, I show my faith as I open my heart becomes a better place. I release all fear as I share gratefully. This love that I give always gives back to me. Knowing my oneness with everything else, I know that all that I give to myself. I celebrate my abundance today. By giving this gift, I show my faith. As I open my heart, my world becomes a better place. I release all fear as I share gratefully. This love that I give always gives back to me. Knowing my oneness with everything else, I know that all that I give to myself. Celebrate my abundance today. By giving this gift, I show my faith. As I open my heart, my world becomes a better place. Yes, it does. I release all fear as I share gratefully. This love that I give always gives back to me. Knowing my oneness with everything else, I know that all that I give to myself. Knowing my oneness with everything else, I know that all that I give to myself. Someday I'm gonna acknowledge that what happens up here is it's almost like it's a contest to see how long we can hold that last note out. Here to bless the offering today, please welcome Sherry Hoffman.
Hello, welcome. Let's take all that abundance that we just gathered and point it towards these wonderful baskets and say the blessing together. We bless these gifts, and we see these gifts going out and blessing our community and the world. And so it is.
Amen. Yes, indeed. I think it's time to celebrate birthdays. If you are celebrating a birthday during the month of October, if you feel like you would like to stand up or raise your hand so we can acknowledge you and sing happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Beautiful. And so what happens is these ballots all contain requests for who we might share our abundant wealth with. And so receiving a portion of our tithe to the world is Southern Arizona AIDS Foundation. Thank you, Thomas. Happy birthday. So what's happening here at Unity of Tucson? Let's find out. In any minute. There we go. Oh, those are in the wrong place. Then we're going to do this in a different way. I would like to welcome Joyce Hawley up to the stage. Sorry, these were supposed to be after the announcement video, and I may have made that mistake. I apologize. Oh, wait, now the announcements are there.
Oh, come on up.
Come on up anyways. We'll go back.
Gathering today starting at 6 p.m. in Harmony Hall. This will be an opportunity to embrace your authentic self as you move and dance freely to upbeat, positive music in a compassionate, loving environment. The Rainbow Lunch Bunch, a monthly gathering of spiritually minded members of the LGBTQIA+ community and allies, meets in the Rainbow Room next Sunday after the Sunday celebration. Bring your lunch and join the Rainbow Lunch Bunch for camaraderie and fun. Express and celebrate your gratitude for the nourishment we receive at our beautiful spiritual center by purchasing tickets to attend the Gratitude Gala, a joyful evening under the stars, on November 10th. It will be a night packed full of love, joy, and fun. You won't want to miss it. And speaking of the Gratitude Gala, it's time to donate to our upcoming silent auction. Here's an example of one item already donated, a never-used Rogue lap guitar. It features a hardwood body and neck, a single coil pickup, volume and tone controls, and a stainless steel pick guard. This is just one of the many items we've already received. You can find silent auction instructions and supporting documentation on Unity of Tucson's website. Unity of Tucson welcomes your leadership expertise and business acumen. The Board of Directors recently updated our policies to create 3 adjunct board positions. If you're interested in learning more about serving as an adjunct board member, speak to Dr. Jonathan or any member of the board. Please join Unity of Tucson as we gather to fight hunger here in Tucson. It's time to move our feet for the Crop Hunger Walk, Sunday, November 5th. Please see Joyce Hawley in Harmony Hall for more details and to sign up to be a walker, sponsor, or both. Let's move our feet to end hunger locally and throughout the world. Join the Blanket Brigade. Unity of Tucson is collecting blankets and sleeping bags in anticipation of the cold nights that are on the horizon. The collection will be delivered to Sister Jose's shelter for distribution to those in need. We will be collecting now through November 12th. And coming up Saturday, October 7th, plan on attending the next Sophia Women's Group from 10 a.m. until noon. Contact Emila De Toro for more information. You can find out more about all our events, classes, and other offerings in the Desert Light Book and Gift Store or online at unitytucson.com. Have an amazing and magnificent week.
Glorious. Yes, thank you. And Joyce Hawley is here to tell us a little bit about the Crop Walk. Welcome, Joyce.
Just a moment of background information. I worked for the organization that does the crop walk called CWS Global. I had the privilege of working with them for about 6.5 years. I got to do a lot of travel through Africa, and I got to actually see for my own eyes, my own soul, what Church World Service, CWS Global, and crop walkers do around the world. So when you walk here in Tucson, you're not only helping hunger here in Tucson, but you're helping hunger around the world. And this morning, I'd like to introduce you to Elizabeth and her daughter, Charlotte. Crop walkers were instrumental in having a well brought to their community. Because water, most women, men don't do this, women walk for water. And they usually take a 46-pound bucket and put it on their heads and carry it. And so when I met Elizabeth, she thanked the crop walkers I had brought with me to Kenya, northwest Kenya, and she was thanking us for the well. And as Elizabeth got tears in her eyes, she said, "You know, with that well, my back does not hurt anymore." And then she told me that she now can spend more time with her little daughter, Charlotte, because she doesn't have to be gone hours at a time to gather water. That she can now help teach her daughter the important things that daughters need to know and learn from their moms. Crop walkers touch lives here and around the world. So come walk. I can tell you many more stories from my travels through Africa, mostly Kenya and South Africa, and a little bit in Tanzania, because there are some really great things happening because of crop walkers. Thank you.
Thank you, Joyce. I would also like to introduce Sue Rumsey, who is here to introduce the new artist who is being shown in our gallery, our Galeria Sagrada, which is our lobby, but also doubles as a gallery. So please welcome Sue Rumsey.
That was a tough act to follow. Okay, if any of you wondered why we have Galleria Sagrada in the foyer, I'd like to quote from a book written by our own Reverend Jonathan. He says in this book, "Thoughts are things, that there is something that profoundly connects us all at the heart level. We don't realize it, we may not agree with all of its expressions. It touches us in every area of our lives. whether we know it or not, and that's art. Our artist for the next 2 months is Catherine. Are you in the room, Catherine?
Yeah, there she is.
And I'm not even going to try to, oh, there she is. I'm not even going to try to pronounce her last name. If you look at her title cards, you'll understand why. And her photography can definitely connect us at the heart level. She believes that every person, place, and event enriches her life with unique beauty and wisdom. She honors the divine spirit that exists in every person. She wants people to embrace and honor all humanity and to accept the commonalities that unite us in this beautifully diverse world. Catherine has been capturing images on film, note film, not digital, professionally since 1979. Her extensive collection of work encompasses images from all walks of life from over 30 countries. In 2000, she was chosen as one of 20 emerging American artists. She is a traditionalist and shoots only film, primarily working in 35 millimeter format. She processes her film herself, and you can talk to her about the many different processes she uses. She calls her show Diversity. That's so appropriate for Unity of Tucson. Because of her appreciation for Unity of Tucson, she has priced her photography 20 to 50% less than a regular gallery would have. She also wants you to know that we are all invited to her reception, August 7th, from 4 to 6, right here in the
October
foyer.
7th. You said August.
October. Make it October. October 7th from 4 to 6. Thank you.
Thank you, Sue. And thank you, Catherine. One final thing I want to let you know about the Fall Renewal Series, which is a thing that we do every fall where we collectively utilize, I use a book on Sundays, and then we have small groups that meet to have discussions around that book on a weekly basis. The Fall Renewal Series is coming up beginning in about 3 more weeks. The small group leaders have all been through some training. We are looking for one host, someone who is willing to host in their home. If you are willing to do that and you live on the far east side of town, would you please have a chat with me following the celebration today? I would be delighted and so grateful if you are willing to open your home. Today's prayer chaplains in service, it's going to say Mirta and Sherry. Mirta was not able to be here today, so it is going to be Sherry Hoffman and also Deborah Walker. Thank you so much for your service. They will be available to you for a moment of prayer following the celebration today in just a few minutes. And there are other ways to engage with our prayer chaplain and our prayer ministry here. You can write a prayer intention and put it into the box out in the lobby, and all of those are prayed over by our entire prayer chaplain team and also by Unity Worldwide Ministries, or Unity World Headquarters prayer ministry, Silent Unity. So that's that. I want to say thank you to everybody who made today the magnificent experience that it is. Fabian, our brand new sound mixer Fabian back there, Fabian and Rowan and Jim and Kyle and Don back there, our tech team, thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I want to say thank you to Dorothy and Laura for guiding us and lighting the flames of faith this morning. Laura, for your beautiful reading affirmation and guiding us in prayer as well. Deborah, for your meditation this morning, thank you so much. Blessing the offering, thank you to Sherry. I want to say thank you, yes, 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 and also for being on duty today. Thank you, Steve, for being our sharing speaker today. Our hospitality team, our greeters, our ushers, I gotta go, right? We have so many people who work here and do magnificent things in service to this community. Let's give it up also for our musicians, Adam and Aaron and Raphael and Linda. And let's especially give it up for our magnificent guest today, Elise Carver. I'm going to invite you to come on over. She's going to close us out today, but before she closes us out, I will help also set these up. Before she closes us out, I would love for us to, as a community, share the prayer of divine intention and understanding. Let's share these words together. I am infinite light. I am infinite love. I am infinite power. I am infinite presence. Wherever God is, I am. Wherever I am, God is. And so it is. Amen. It's all you. Thank you so much.
They twin.
set me free. To set me free. I am thy spirit to move in me. I am thy spirit to set me free. To guide my hands and feet, to set my heart on fire, to ease my mind. And I will go out into the world and shine this light. And I will go out into my life and set things right. And I will dance with sheer delight. And I will remember who I am with all my might. And I will remember who I am with all my might.
Yeah. Make it a magnificent week, everyone.